Welcome to this video interview, and we have a very special guest today. This is Jane Cheung, Global Research Leader, Consumer Industry at the IBM Institute of Business Value, IBV. Jane, welcome.
Hi, Rudy. Good to be here.
Yes, it's we have a good topic today. You know, this is all about impact of AI, big talk, big buzz also in the fast-moving consumer goods industry. And then I know you have spent a considerable amount of time researching how consumer goods companies are evolving with AI. So from your perspective, could you share a story or example of a company that has truly embedded AI into the core of their operations and brand? What do you think enabled them to make such a fundamental shift? Because that's the key question I get every week.
Great. Yeah, it's a good question, Rudy. And I have been doing a lot of research. I've been with the Institute of Business Value, the IBV, for almost 6 years now. And every 2 years we do a global consumer research study, and then every other year we conduct a executive research study. So 2024 was the year I conducted a research study for 1,500 AI leaders from consumer goods company. And we asked all sorts of questions about AI. And this year, the study that we launched earlier this year was a little bit surprising in a way that usually in the research study, there is a leading area. I'll give you an example. So, for some years, it was about customer engagement, because of e-com, because of social commerce. So we get the results back and company are investing a lot in sort of like the front end of the house, right? So for consumer goods company, it's the engagement, the brand engagement, how do you make sure you're reaching your consumer. And then through COVID, it was all about supply chain because there were a lot of disruption, right? During the supply chain, am I going to get the goods? And, all of a sudden we went from same day delivery to, oh my God, I just need to know, is it going to get here within this month? So there's an attitude changes in consumer. The AI study that I worked on last year, it came back with very, very consistent data. What I mean by that is, we ask questions for about 13 different areas. So from consumer product, so consumer experience to product design, to supply chain, to operation. Every single area, people are investing in AI in parallel. Like every area is over 80%. They are using, experimenting, implementing. Very few are optimizing AI and generative AI. So I had to look at the data. Why? Because I was like, is this right? Did we overwrite the columns, between one functional area to another? But no, every single area that we look at, people are working with AI. And for 2025, people are looking to scale AI. So, I am thinking everybody takes this a little bit differently, right? So, what we learn is 2024 was a year that people are experimenting, exploring AI, but now they are scaling. So back to your question. So very, very long introduction here. What I've seen are very remarkable, significant use. The title of my study is called Embedding AI in Your Brand's DNA. What does that mean? So we just have an announcement with one of our key clients. They are leveraging AI to use reusable ingredient, to use green ingredient. So what you're thinking is basically using AI to uncover new insight in the formula of new product, facilitating the use of sustainable raw material in order to reduce waste. So you're essentially using AI to improve your product, to reformulate your product, but also to be responsible, to be ecologically responsible and innovative at the same time. So this is one of the very remarkable story that I read, and it's not done yet. It's something that is a journey, right? But that was the goal. That was the North Star. When you create the AI model, you can use it in a way that you can process large number of formulas and data component. You can accelerate the task for your R&D team. So you're doing things that much faster. Without AI, it will take years to do. It may still take years, but you can do it faster and better. Um, Also, at the same time, that's the technology bits of it, right? So when you look at the business, they have to rethink and redesign the discovery process in product design. So that probably is the most extensive use of AI to truly embed AI in your brand's DNA.
Oh, that's really, really, really cool. And very nice story. And you alluded to it. So we are seeing AI pop up in so many different areas of business now. And in your experience, what are some of the most unexpected or innovative ways that you have seen companies applying AI? So from your experience in plugging into all this world, and what kind of impact is it actually having on their day-to-day operations? Do we know something about that?
Yes, yes. So, the theme of AI for a lot of company this year is about scaling. So AI is not new, Rudy. So, in our industry, people use demand forecasting, right? We use AI for customer service. We use AI for price optimization. But what's different now and what's surprising, and it's a learning experience for everyone, is is achieving multiple goals, is expanding the use across different functions. So for example, there was a client that we work with in Asia, and the company wanted to use price optimization. So, price optimization, if you price it the right way, hopefully it will increase the profit, right? It will reduce your inventory waste. It will improve your turn. But the problem was people are doing it, you have price optimization, but you're doing it in a silo manner. And so it end up not working really well because you have a different variation of forecasts, and then you have a different variation of different prices, for different channels, for different geography. So it ended up not working really well. And what we were helping the client to do is to establish a platform to integrate AI tools so that there's a consensus forecast without having go through Excel gymnastic to produce that, right? So ultimately, you can generate a forecast that can be adaptable, that can easily be adaptable for different product category. And when you do that, then you allow the people, your employees, to review the forecast, to review the pricing. And instead of automating this process, it's an augmented process. So in a way, you can have AI, what's the English phrase? Just leave no stone unturned, right? So, AI can process a lot of the information. It can accelerate your decisions. You can be more accurate. So ultimately, you can improve your margin. You can improve your inventory position, and also to reduce waste. That's also the top of mind of many of our clients too. Is you know anything that is not sell, you sell it on a markdown, so you lose margin, but then it also produces a lot of waste if it's perishable in item, for example. So what I'm seeing is that oftentimes, you start small with AI, but then you scale it. When you scale it across different area, then you get bigger value.
That's a good keyword, value. I mean, you mentioned it as improve efficiency, improve margin.
Hmm.
As you know, there's a lot of talk about the future potential of AI, especially in terms of revenue growth. Everybody wants that.
Yes.
Based on your observations, what innovative business models or emerging ecosystems do you see driving this growth in the CPG sector? That's the key question, I think.
Yes, yes. So in the CPG world, when we conducted the research in the consumer product goods world, we look at different segment, but it's all CPG company. We ask question about the AI spend. So spending are improving, expanding, meaning, but what an interesting shift in the budget is that we are seeing a bigger increase of the AI spend outside of the IT department than within the IT department. So what does that mean? For me, if it feels like, okay, so AI is becoming more than a technology tool. It's being embedded in the line of business. Then the second sets of data that we ask is because we've been doing the research for a while, so we do year-to-year comparison. The ROI is also on the rise. So for the CPG company is about around 20% of the ROI, and it has been steadily increasing. So it's not like jumping off, right? And another stat that I want to share is we asked the question specifically for AI contribution to the revenue growth. So what that means is, I see a revenue growth, but what's the percentage that AI contributes specific to it? And we've been tracking the numbers since 2023, and it's over 100% over the duration of 4 years. So from 2023 to 2027. So a lot of expectation, right? So how are people achieving that? So then we go back to what people are doing now and how they are achieving this in the next 3 years. So people are investing a lot in data analytic platform. So when you think about AI, you need data. And CPG company, retail company, we have a lot of data, but it's a matter of making sure you know how to maximize the value of the data, to organize the data, to make sure that you have proper data. Then it's the analytical tool, which is where AI comes in to process information for you. Um, so people have been investing in data analytic platform, in innovative platforms. So it's a platform for people to collaborate. Our research show that people expect AI to help them innovate in product and services and also in business model. And the largest increase in this platform is ecosystem platform. So ecosystem platform for CPG company, a lot of time you think about traditional partners, right? So the supplier, the logistic, the distribution. But I think in the era of AI, also consider the technology, hyperscaler, and technology company, because it's difficult to have one company to do it all. Okay, so the platform, the growing platform is where you will generate efficiency and also the revenue growth. One of the cases that I've seen our company doing is the ecosystem platform, where there is a full cycle compliance in product design and development. As you know, there are a lot of different compliance. If you're a global company, is very hard to do it manually. So when you can have AI to help you to manage the full cycle, to make sure that you are in compliant, two things happen, right? Number one, you're not going to get fined. You will be able to be compliant. And then the second, I think is really important, is to build trust for your brand. As we all know, bad news travel much faster than good news, right? So that's, once you're able to use AI to help you to stay compliant, the second step is to make sure that you get the words out. So what we're seeing interesting is the whole partnership between product design and external legal. So legal is another area where it's very manual. And so if you are compliant and then you actually pass it on to your external relation, it really drive the duration of this process from weeks into days. So that's a very interesting way where we see people working across the ecosystem.
Very clear. Now, some companies might be listening to us and say, yes, I want this now. Okay, so everything. And of course, you talked about those who are a little bit down the road. But, our final question would be, for businesses just beginning to explore AI, in hindsight, what key advice would you offer to ensure they are building a strategic, like long-term approach rather than just implementing isolated, short-term solutions? Saying, I have a chatbot on my mobile phone. Is this good enough?
Yeah. Yes. Good question. I have a little bit funny story to tell. I met with a client and in Canada, and we were talking about AI and the use of AI. At the end of the meeting, I just learned that they roll out Copilot, but nobody really know how to use it. Not in a way to do their job. So I think the number one thing is to make sure that just because so many people uses AI, right? So even last year when in my global consumer research study, we've learned that a lot of people are using AI. In this year's study, even executives are using AI. But the question is, are they using AI in a way to maximize the value that they can produce for your company? So don't underestimate that. In our research, we show big numbers for AI transformation, but very small number in executive feeling they need to upskill and reskill their employee. So don't overlook that, and make sure that you manage the changes. Um, there are people that are very anxious about, am I going to lose my job because of AI? So that will prevent you from progressing forward, right? So it's important to be transparent with the plan of AI so that people don't worry that it's going to take away the job. Our research shows that many company, most of the activities, instead of automation will have its place. But 2025, as you scale AI, in the example that I gave, every one of them require augmentation. So, right? So we talk about revenue growth, we talk about productivity gain. When you can augment your workforce with AI, it will give them more time to do what they're really good at in doing in product design, right? So people are not so worried about compliance. They can spend really more time to think about, how do I design a better product? How do I increase the brand value of this product? So that's an important one. And then the second one I would say is, you gotta you gotta tailor AI to fit your brand priority. So you need to think big, but without losing focus to deliver the core value of your brand. What does your brand stand for? So AI is an enabler, can transform your company, can transform your brand. It can do a lot, but doesn't mean you have to do everything. And don't lose sight of your brand's DNA and your brand value, because consumer will want that. You cannot be everything to everyone. You cannot look at AI and say, oh, we can do improvement here, 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 and then pretty much you're lost in the big ocean and not be able to get results, right? So in the study I talk about, it's like running a marathon, but with sprint, but heading to a common goal that your company understand where you are all going. And the last one is, I wanted, and we haven't talked much about it here, but it's really important, which is governance. But what that means is you got to be able to explain. People need to understand the model. People understand the results. People need governance. So you need to have a way so that you understand this is a good result. You can trust the results. In the research, we talked about many companies have started working on that. They have started defining who's responsible for what. They are mindful in building AI model that is explainable, that are transparent, but everyone is still in the early age. Very few companies have actually implemented the tool to do that and to monitor that. So those are the leave behind, if I may, for the audience.
Audience, this was Jane Cheung, Global Research Leader at IBM Institute of Business Value. Thank you so much for listening in.
Thank you.
Tune in next time.